Yeah, but y'all down that's like PD hoes rise and they rise again. From the front line to leading mates and friends. Oh, this is your season. Time to take a stand. Hey, hero makers, legends spreading across the land. Yeah, it's your roof from Tassie, bouncing like a kid at a bunning sausage sizzle on a Saturday morn. Season 3's lit, laptop lifestyle dad show, Hero Makers. Season is born from AI funnels to social selling grit. Now it's hero making time. Strap in, this is it, yo. I've hopped Tokyo's back streets, cop the LA glow, bringing yarns from the road, mate. Watch the wisdom flow from the kitchen bench, hustle to the big global stage. We're handing you the keys, now it's time to turn the page. A few heroes rise, and they rise again. From the front line to leading mates and friends. Oh, this is your season. Time to take a stand. Hero makers, been spreading across the land. I'm the pumped up platypus from Sunny QA, more bounce than a kid who spotted the ice cream van. You see, two Wizzy dads, mate, bringing boom source seed, helping legends step up, take the driver's seat. We're not just here to yabba raw, spin ya a line. We're handing you the mic so your voice can shine. From Tassie to Tokyo, Goldie to Perth, hero makers worldwide, lifting leaders of worth. Jeff Rue's got the coffee double shot, mate, I'm wide. They platypus at the pool party, still floating our tide. Jeff from barbecues to boardrooms, we bring the yarns and the tools, helping legends lead strong and break all the rules. See heroes rise, and they rise again. From the front line to leading mates and friends. And this is your season, time to take a stand. Hero makers, legends spreading across the land. Grab your brew, your notepad, and your crew. It's the laptop lifestyle dad show. Hero Maker season, bringing heroes out of you. Patty the Roo, platypus bringing the tricks. Hero Makers podcast, your daily boom source fix. And they rise again. Hey, from the front line to leading mates and friends. Oh, this is your season. Time to take a stand. Hey, Hero Makers, legends spreading across the land. Heroes rise, then they rise again. From the front line to leading mates and friends. Oh, this is your season. Time to take a stand. Hey, Hero Makers, legends spreading across the land.
You know, it's a catchy song when you start chair dancing and doing that dances all over the place.
That's it. Exactly right.
Oh,
well, it's
dear.
Friday, fun day Friday. So
I was just I was just reminiscing, you know, like it was only a couple of months ago you and I created that video and pulled that to project together with our awesome, you know, little pioneer student base there with, you know, teaching people how to, you know, find their voice, elevate their voice and, you know, do that content marketing mastery. It was pretty cool.
It was awesome.
We're going to have to probably do another intake. We're probably going to have to show people how to do that again. Hey, drop a 1 in the comments if you'd love to learn how to create little AI music videos like that one. You know, David, that's our happy space. We love teaching people how to do that, don't we, Dave?
No, we do. Too much fun. Too much fun. I can't wait till the little nuisance over there in the background making all the noise. I can't wait till he gets a bit older. I'll be able to teach him. might keep him quiet then.
Yeah. Give him some purpose, right?
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. Create that.
So, Dave, we've got a lot to talk about today's call. So let's keep this short and to the point. So, mate, I love to hear from you. What's been your biggest, golden drop moment, your takeaway, your wisdom bomb, the thing that's helped you to step up and show up and grow up even, and in that space. What's challenged you, and what have you learned from from this week's conversation?
Nothing.
I'm not working hard enough, guys. Yeah.
I've learned plenty. I've learned to have more patience than I usually do with that one over there. There's just been so much. I guess probably one of the biggest things is probably gratitude. I guess would probably be a big thing that I've learnt more about this week, for sure and certain. Obviously, a little bit about edifying people and the sales process and stuff like that there, but also I think mostly would probably be where we've been with a couple of our one-on-one students, and I guess basically going through that foundational work, before we start the building block process. So yeah, just to keep it not too long and drawn out, that's probably about it for me at the moment. So many. I could be on for the whole half an hour myself.
Yeah, and look, I think this is really relevant to my key insight for this week too, as well. And we've been talking a bit about this behind the scenes in our own banter and stuff. And it's just fascinating that, and I'm guilty of it. Most of us want to learn how to do the AI, to learn how to do the funnels, to learn how to do the marketing space, and all of that. But what I find time and time and time again, that without purpose, that without heart, that without essentially alignment, it's futile.
It is.
It's just, you're just going to sit there and get frustrated with it. You just got to sit there and spin your wheels with it. And that sort of leads me to my next point, Dave, where I want to talk to our audience here about this whole conversation where unless your alignment matches up with your assignment, it's just not going to really work. So let's unpack this a little bit together, Dave, and figure out, what does alignment really mean? And what's this assignment conversation Jeff's talking about? Well, let's start here with alignment. Alignment means here in leadership and life, in all aspects of what we do and how we show up. It's not just about going in the same direction. This is about you. Are you in alignment with your head, with your heart, and with your hands? Are they all moving together? So your head gives you clarity. Are your thoughts and beliefs clear? Who you are, what you stand for, and where you're heading. Your heart piece here is your conviction. Do your passions, do your values, do your inner compass agree with what you're pursuing and what you're doing in that space? And then your hands are the action piece. Are your daily actions and habits actually supporting the vision, or are they just sabotaging it? See, true alignment in this space, Dave, I love your thoughts are. True alignment for me is when your internal words, your beliefs and values, and your external world, your actions and your choices, aren't at war with each other anymore, and they're in alignment, and that's where your energy goes, and you get energy from that conversation versus exhaustion. What have you found in that conversation, Dave?
Well, that's 100% true, and sometimes it's difficult to keep that alignment. As we evolve and go through different stages of our life. The thing for me, I guess, is the heart part is the part obviously that always stays there, because the passion and the core values and those sort of things are.
The hard part stays there, but our actions get out of alignment, and this is essentially what we get out of this whole conversation, is out of integrity. Exactly. I remember talking to Aaron last night, and I actually want to ask the audience this question. When it comes to the word integrity, describe it to me. What's integrity mean for you? And the way that the integrity was described to me back in the Landmark Forum days when I first started this whole journey was, think of integrity like a bicycle wheel. And a bicycle wheel has spokes, right? So Dave, if I take out, there's 12 spokes on a bicycle, let's say, and I take out 3 on the left side, what's happened to that bicycle wheel?
Well, it's going to be out of alignment. It's going to sort of wobble.
It's out of integrity.
Be a bit wobbly.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit wobbly.
Yeah,
it's out of integrity because where those spokes are missing, it's created a weak point.
Correct.
You know, and we talked about this the other day about our internal health compass. You know, where, you know, most of our problems in life are never external, they're always internal, especially on this transformational journey. So going deep and working on the areas of health of our spiritual, of our mental, of our physical, of our emotional, and as our financial health areas. You know, so if those are all out of alignment, if they're not in kilter, you know, your actions aren't lining up with that, you're out of alignment. You're out of integrity, essentially. So, you know, how can you expect your external world when your internal world's all wobbly? And so I find very difficult, right? So that's the alignment piece. But now let's talk about the assignment piece. You know, how do you recognize when you're chasing someone else's assignment instead of your own? You know, this is where most leaders I've found get off track, or most aspiring leaders or entrepreneurs, whatever label you want to put on, right? Most of us get off track because we're burning energy on paths that we were never designed to run. And signs that you're off track, guideposts that you're off track would be you find yourself in these areas in constant comparison. You try to keep up with someone else's race instead of running your own. You know, the other one would be, I reckon, with Dave, would be the lack of fulfillment. You know, even when you win, you still don't feel satisfied. You're always striving and never arriving, and it just feels empty. You know, another guidepost here I would say on this space is exhaustion without expansion. It's okay to go and put in the hard yakka. It's okay to go, you know, do some crazy hours and be obsessed. But unless you're actually expanding, you know, you're either busy, you find yourself, you're busy and you're not growing, you're hustling and not multiplying, you're probably not working on your assignment, that your calling, your journey that you're meant to be. And here's the other one too, is the biggest one I find is the disconnection from values. When you compromise who you are to fit in or impress people around you, and that will eat you and eat away at you over time. So if your assignment, i.e. the mission, the work that you're carrying, the purpose behind it, right, doesn't match up with your design, your calling, your gifts, your purpose, your strengths, you're always going to feel like you're rowing against the current. You're rowing down shit creek without the paddle, you know what I mean? Dave, as I sort of teach in this mode here and focus and unpack this, what's the revelation that's jumping up for you right now?
Yeah, things that I've experienced, like it's quite easily to get caught up and wrapped up and, you know, following somebody else's path as opposed to your own. And sometimes it's only, you know, you start off with good intentions and you're doing what you need to do and cruising along, and then you know, before you, and sometimes it's just easy before you even know it, subconsciously, you know, you're chasing somebody else's dream as opposed to yours. And yes, we have got a backup singer in the background.
I love it. I always want to give him the mic. It's like, here you go.
Yeah, I should maybe just shut up then.
I love the points that you're making.
God love him.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's easily done, and I've done it before. And, you know, and what you've got to realize, like, and yeah, what I've realized is I was, out of integrity, whatever you want to call it, because
but what's happening right now,
restless.
It's actually quite beautiful what's happening right now, right? Because I know that young Zeb in the background, you know, him interrupting and speaking in the background, like that used to frustrate you because you wanted to be present here. But now I can see that you've gone, it is what it is, and you've let it go.
Can't do anything about it.
You can't do anything about it, right? There's no point getting upset about it. Let him be.
He's all right. He's a 4-year-old. What am I going to do? Change him to be a robot?
Right. So, but I love the beautiful thing about that. And, you know, this is where we can just focus here on this conversation and you can do the parent and juggle together in that space. And this is how, you know, what showing up looks like to provide your family, support your family, but also be present with your family as well. And that's the beautiful part of the
think I just need a better set of noise cancelling, so I can't quite hear him as much.
Well, Christmas is coming around. I'll see what I can buy as a gift.
Thanks, mate. But yeah, back. Back to that, and I guess I found I was getting to a point that you're right. Like you were doing heaps of stuff. You thought you were hustling. You thought you were achieving lots, but and it was coming up to burnout. But it wasn't because I wasn't doing the work. I was doing the wrong work. And I'd still be restless at night time. And I'd be sitting outside at 1 a.m. in the morning, going,
Yes,
"What the hell am I doing?" And that's because not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And,
I want to come back.
And it still happens. Not that I chase other people's dreams now, but sometimes you still get off alignment. And
this is where partnership. This is where partnership really comes into it, to help each other to stay in alignment and pure collaboration, like what you and I are doing, right? Versus trying to run our own race. We're running this race together, and I know that you've wrestled deeply with this conversation, especially over this last 6 months. I just want you to share some insights there with, do you feel like this last 6 weeks, especially, like you're operating in alignment?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And do you feel like you're on your assignment, like you're meant to be on the assignment that you're called to do?
I believe so. Yes. Yeah, for sure. Because I get up in the morning and I'm excited about what I'm doing, and I want to go and do it. And yes, it's been a lot more work and a lot different. Different work, probably not more work, but different work, because I've been doing more meetings.
I would say there's been more work. You've probably done more productive work versus more busy
meeting
work. There's a difference between productive work versus busy work.
Yeah, that's right. So, and it's been a growing experience, and it's been an awesome one. So, I feel like I said it did before. It took a while to get from out of here into here.
Right,
in the right spot,
and then get
make that happen. Right way. Yeah, get these doing the right things on the keyboard, and clicking the right mouse on the right spot. But I'm much in a much better place, like mentally. Still working on the physical, because I'm been
you and me both, mate.
But so that part of it, it's been 100% better, and having so much fun, which is even better. But I know. Here it comes. Look, the star's made an appearance.
It's the star of the moment. Here it is. You can't compete with dogs and kids, they say.
You definitely can't.
So what I was going to say, though, but I know getting this right and this right, getting that into alignment helps with this getting in right, and the results of that too is our physical health is improved because of that conversation. Our mental health is improved because of that conversation. Our spiritual and emotional and relational health is improved because of that conversation. And this is what it looks like to step in and self-evaluate and get into that self-identity question in space and whatnot. So
I think I was talking to you yesterday. It was 5 degrees or something up here, and after we'd had our last conversation yesterday, I was talking to the wife, and she said, "Oh, did you take the little boy up the park?" And I went, "No, it was too hot." I said, "But I'm going to take him up the park. When the sun goes down, we'll go for a walk and that." And I think she got a little bit sort of, "I don't think you will," but I did, because I guess that the whole everything sort of got better, and I know how important that is to him, and obviously to my health as well. So
this comes back to that integrity piece. This comes back to that integrity piece where you let your yes be a yes and your no be a no. And because we're living in this alignment and we're working in this assignment piece, it almost, it's not forced is the wrong word, but you're compelled to step up and live life above the line, and be that person in accountability, responsibility, and ownership space versus blame, excuse, and denial. And nobody else can do that for you but yourself. But this is what
I made a promise to the little boy that I would take him to the park, and it was just too hot during the day. So
But you could justify the reasons why you couldn't do that or wouldn't do that or anything like that. We sell ourselves all the time on things, and we justify ourselves all the time on things.
if I could sell everybody else as good as I can sell myself, I'd be a bloody millionaire.
I know, right?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
as we wrap up today's conversation, guys, with our HeroMakers Daily Live, I want to give you some simple shifts to help you to bring your values, your vision, and your daily actions back into some sort of, I don't know if harmony is the right word, but alignment anyway. But here's the thing. As Dave's just sharing with his story, and as I've shared with mine, I want you to bring some grace into this conversation, because alignment does not happen overnight. It's the little chip away, it's the little step forward, it's the little step backwards, it's learning to fail forward fast. It does not happen overnight, but it does happen one intentional step at a time. And so here's some practical shifts that I want to give you all that really work for me. And I know Dave's really doing this as well. And some of the conversations that we've had. First off, audit your calendar. That'll give you a really crystal clear viewpoint of where you spend your time and where you spend your time, and reflect on what matters most to you, or what traps that you're in, and what you can let go of. For me, when I first did this audit my calendar, I realized I used to have the saying that I don't have enough time, not enough time in the day. But when I audited my calendar, I found an extra 20 hours a week from binge watching TV that I used to say was precious to me, but really wasn't. And I found an extra 20 hours a week by cutting that out. Now, don't get me wrong, I still like to binge watch TV. It's my downtime.
Videos instead.
Yeah, it's my downtime, it's my processing time. But I've got it dedicated in my calendar for at least an hour a day to serve that guilty pleasure. But what I've also found too, by having that structure, some of my best thinking, some of my best content, some of my best thoughts come out in that space. And another one here to help you with the simple shift is if you're not clear on your why, first off, get clear on your why. But if you're not clear on your why, if you are clear on your why, return to your why. Normally, if you're out of alignment, it's because you're not operating in that purpose space. So get really crystal clear on what is your life's mission statement, your purpose statement for your life. Not for your business, not for your marriage, but for your life. Then do one for your marriage. Then do one for your business. One simple step, one simple sentence. And what this will help you do what it's helped me do is filter my decisions through this mission. Filter my decisions through this process. If it doesn't move me closer, if it doesn't move the needle forward to achieving this mission, then it's a distraction. And so it's been a lens that I operate through for the last 5 years and served me really well in this place. The other one here too, Dave, and I know this is one that you've worked on deeply as well, is check your inner circle. Surround yourself with people who call you up higher and remind you of your assignment. And put people in your inner circle of people who pull you up the mountain and don't push you off the track.
Yes, I'm very blessed in that part.
Yeah, I know, right? But the people like we've got in our inner circle too, and I can see one of the people here on our call today, Jim. Jim's an amazing guy, an amazing man of faith, and he is one of those guys that I've come to become closer in the last couple of months through our online church, and have a lot of respect for what Jim's wisdom and the insights that he has. And I know that his heart is to help me as a brother in Christ, because he has been a pastor in a past life before, and what he's done in his past, and in this space he can help pull me up. And I love that about the conversations that we can have in that space. And I don't say that to toot your horn, Jim. I really do mean that, mate.
Oh yeah, I love listening to him. Yeah, his comments and his insights.
And I know that's I know Jim will say that's all glory to God, and he's a very humble man about that. But that's what I love about it too, because it humbles me. And it's that how we can be more like Jesus conversation when we surround ourselves with people like that. Another tool here that has helped me as well, and I know it's helping you too, Dave, is to create rhythm, but not rigidity. Not to be rigid. It's like the oak tree, right? The oak tree has deep roots, but when it gets windy and stormy, it can still flow around in the wind without breaking. So what I mean by this, So what I mean by this is build simple daily habits, like gratitude challenges, like journaling, like prayer, like reflection. you know, and debriefing yourself and keep you in tuned with your inner compass. This will help you to focus and be still. And essentially the Bible passage, right, is be still and know I am God. You know, do things in this space to be still, to just spend some quiet time, reflection time, self-evaluation time with, you know, well, in this case, what we refer to as our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You know, to tune into that inner compass space. And here's another one too. And Dave, I'm guilty of this, and I need you to help me hold a bit more accountability to this. Is this to celebrate not just the big wins, but to celebrate the micro wins. And we're going to go into a bit of a celebration to wrap up this week, Dave. And so I'm going to plant the seed here whilst I talk about this part. So I want you to come up with, you know, someone that you want to recognize in our community and someone that you want to celebrate in our community. And they have to be two separate people. They can't be the same person. I'm going to make it a bit harder for you. And I'll do the same thing.
Thanks. Friday, dude.
Right? I know, Friday, right? Sunday, Friday. But here's the thing, right? We got to celebrate more, because every small choice that honors your values, that reinforces your alignment, momentum is built from there. And I love what Joseph McClendon taught us on our last Make It Matters membership class. You know, the way to almost trick the brain is to, you know, do it anyway. So like post that content, do that live, get on and do that wacky conversation. And as soon as you've done that, smile, fist pump, boom sauce time, baby. Like, get in that, you know, pat on the back. That's right. Because what we're doing here is every time you smile, every time you jump up for joy, you're giving the brain a bit of a dopamine kick. And that neuroplasticity of our brain here helps us to rewire it a bit and celebrate the small wins too. Right? And I love that. Yeah, Jim. Yes. Have to celebrate the small wins, because small wins lead to big changes. Absolutely. Right? Yeah. So think of a bit like this, or the way I like to describe it is like tuning in a guitar. If one string is off on that guitar, the whole song sounds awful. You know, my young 13-year-old son at the moment, he's learning how to play the bass. He's learning how to play the electric. And I'm loving the content that he's bringing out. He's bringing my teenage years. He's playing Nirvana. He's playing Metallica. And look, he's playing a bit of worship too. He just joined the worship band. But I'm loving the good old classic rock and the Arctic Monkeys, and, you know, a few of these old bands are just reminiscing. And you know, he started playing AC/DC now. And, you know, he come into one of these songs and he was playing along and he's rocking on an ACT. I think it was TNT, Dynamite, right? That song. But it sounded awful. And I said to him, dude, I think your guitar's out of tune. And he tuned it. And it was only slightly out of tune. He tuned it and it sounded perfect. Yeah. And it's like, it just, you know, this is that whole conversation, right? When us. You know, when one string's off, the whole song sounds awful. So when you retune to your values, to your vision, and to your actions, the music of your life will start to flow again.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. So this is all about how do we get our alignment to match our assignment and operate out of that heart space where our head and our heart and our hands, and also, you know, looking up to Lord Jesus, are all in alignment.
Yes.
That's where you'll start to really get some traction and a flow, I believe. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take you some messy, hard transformational work. I can guarantee you that. But it'll be the most rewarding work that you ever do.
It's always the hard stuff that gives you the best rewards, I feel. So,
yeah. I remember, you know,
hard stuff.
When the second day of our marriage, we went on a honeymoon down to the Great Ocean Road, and we went up to the Grampians here in Victoria. So for those of you who know Australia, the Grampians is a really big, famous hiking bush trail, and there's this huge mountain, you know, in the Gap, it's called, and there's almost like big sort of cliff, you know. And so I took Sarah. I said to Sarah, I want to go climb that mountain. Let's go climb it. And I want to do it. I want to see sunrise at the top of the mountain. Don't tell them what I threatened. Of course, you know where I'm going. You know, and so we climbed up. So we got up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I dragged her out of bed. This is our second day on our honeymoon. I dragged him out of bed.
Nice bloke.
Let's go climb this mountain. Anyway, so we go climb this mountain. And this is a good 2-hour walk to the top of the mountain. And we get to the last 100 meters of it. And Sarah's threatening divorce on our second day of marriage. You know, what are you doing? You're dragging me up this mountain at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm just steaming along. This is when I was really fit. I'm just steaming along, one leg up the other. But the climb at the end, it was like you had to get on your hands and knees and scurry over the rocks. It was some of the most grueling climb I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
But we pushed through. We got up to the mountain. It was only us up there because we're the only crazy ones to do that. And we got up there with 10 minutes to spare before sunrise to catch our breath. And you know what? That memory, that view will be with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Because it was so worth it to experience that with my new wife at the time. And that's something that we can always come back to and reminisce on. Even in the most challenging times, we can fall back on that memory. Yeah. The days when we're both fit. We've got to get back there, Sarah. We've let ourselves go over this time. So it's time to get fit again so we can go back and climb that mountain. And there you go.
There's your mission. Exactly.
There's a challenge. All right, Jim's going to start hiking too. All right, we're going to start a hiking club here. We'll have to get our mate Mark Murray onto this one.
Exactly.
All right.
Some Australia-wide tours happening.
Hey, Jim, we are coming over your way in a couple of months. I'm not sure if we'll be fit enough. We might have to give it a bit of a go, right? All right, Dave, let's wrap this call up. I did say I want us to celebrate. I want us to recognize. So what is the one celebration that you have for this week, and who is the one person that you want to recognize for this week?
Oh, okay. I thought you meant two people. And I won't touch the one that I seen. I think you're gonna post on.
You can go there if you want to. If you can't think of anything else.
No. Well, I was actually going to get two people, and one of them was, I guess, is just been Susie, and about how she's been turning up and doing what she needs to do and keeping things alive and cruising along with her content and her little things that she's going on there. And actually, the other one's probably a bit left field. The other one was actually Jade, another member of our little club here, who's finally managed to be able to go home after such a long period and go back to New Zealand, land along White Cloud, and fashion chops and all those sorts of things. Those sorts of things. And I know she's been working away as best she can over there, and I think she's probably learned a few lessons about the travel and working or the integrated lifestyle. But I'm just happy for her that she was able to do it, and she's still been turning up and doing what
I love about that conversation when it comes to Jade is watching young Marley, in the photos and whatnot, just living life in New Zealand and the family stuff.
Loving it.
Makes my heart sing.
Yeah,
it's good to see.
Exactly. So I just thought she deserved a mention for that one.
Yeah, no, well done. So cool. And so the big thing that I want to celebrate is really, look, I can't share too much information because I have signed an NDA, but there's been like all of the pieces on the chessboard have just lined up. And so like Dave knows what I'm talking about here, but I've just been able to get two really big partners in my life to meet each other, come to the table and say, yes, let's work together. And what's happening in behind the scenes because of that conversation, it's huge. Here's the thing. I want to give credit where credit's due. Yes, I've done my part. Yes, I've done my part and I've taken action and I've done the partnership and the relationship piece. But like the conversations that are unfolding right now are God. They have to be. He's the one's opening the doors. He's the one making things possible. And this is what it really looks like to be in that alignment and assignment piece and just that intersection coming together. And what we're about to create for the world, for in the finance space, in the personal development space, in the growth space, I'm just so blessed to say, yes, that we're an integral part of that conversation to facilitate that. And it just, it's a huge celebration. And it's going to just continue to get even better. So thank you, God, for helping to make this happen and opening these doors and just bringing these powerful people together and blessing me the opportunity to be one of the facilitators of this conversation, to one of the partners of this conversation, to just really bring this together. The big thing I love about this is we all have a heart to serve. We all have a heart for God and for that conversation to be in the center of everything. And it just gives me goosebumps thinking about it. And the person that I want to recognize for today is good old Dazza, known as Wombaz, as part of our little laptop lifestyle dads community. This guy on this journey in this last month has just been on a massive growth journey. For someone who would have probably 6 months ago when I first met him, if I invited him to our little online church, I did, and he did reject it, and he did throw it away and said, "No, I can't do that. I've been burnt by that. Not about you, Jeff, but I chipped away at it. I built the relationship. I built the connection, and he came along last weekend, not last weekend, the weekend before." Yeah. Right. And he was moved and touched by that. And I've seen so much growth. And then yesterday he takes his family to Dreamworld and have that awesome celebration with his wife and his daughter in Dreamworld. That was pretty awesome. And then just today he tells me, he gets in my phone. It says, "Hey, Jeff, I've just signed up my third person for Texit. I've just earned my first $1,000 commission from Texit. And it's all thanks to you and Dave for rocking and rolling with me and for coaching him." But this guy's hungry. This guy, he went through our 30-day content voice program, found his voice in that process, found his purpose. He's taken massive action in this last 30 days since then. And the labor and the fruits are lining up. His assignment and his alignments are all in that space. And he's hungry and he's taking massive action and he's getting out of his own way. And the growth that I've seen Dazza go through just in this last 30 days, it just makes my heart sing. Really does.
It's been an incredible journey to be a part of. So, love it.
Well, Dave,
it's just great to see people in the community that are succeeding,
that are winning. Like I love winning. Don't get me wrong, and I love it when we win together. Don't get me wrong, but when we get to be a part of helping others to win, that to me is pretty cool. And then when we get to play the next generation of that conversation, where they get to help other people win, that's even better. And that's what a hero maker looks like. You don't have to be like a champion in your race. You don't have to have gone and made millions of dollars to be a hero maker. You can start to be a hero maker from day one. It's just a different focus. It's just a different lens. It's just a different viewpoint to the way that we look at things. And I love that we're starting to see the early fruit of that, Dave. It's pretty awesome.
Yep, that's the reason I get up at 4 o'clock most mornings, or 3 o'clock, or 2 o'clock, or 1 o'clock, or whatever the hell bloody time it is, whenever my eyes open up.
What's this 9 to 5 business? I don't even know what that is, but anyway.
Geez, I won't. Geez, actually, I should go back to a 9 to 5 job. I'd be doing less hours. I just wouldn't be having as much. I wouldn't be having as much fun though.
Tell me that in 5 years' time.
Yeah, no way in the world. I wouldn't get to spend time with this perfect little interruption over here. I don't think I'd be able to go back and work 9 to 5 now. I'd be ringing him up. He hasn't got a phone, but I'd be ringing up the missus and saying, "Where's that boy? I need to talk to him."
I like the conversation here around I'm unemployable, meaning that meaning that I love work. It's nothing wrong with employment. Don't get me wrong. We need people to be employed. But I love the fact that what we've created here in this lifestyle and how we get to have that freedom and I would never give that up for any day of the world. I don't want to necessarily turn it into an idolatry. If God asked me to give it up, I probably would. But at the same time, there's a lot of freedom in this space to operate, and it's pretty awesome. And helping others to do the same thing, that's pretty cool too. So
it's very awesome.
So, guys, thank you very much for tuning in and listening to us two ramble on. Really, really appreciate you all for following along. It's pretty fun being on this journey with you, Dave. It's another week off the dust. We've started. We're out the gates for the fourth quarter for the year. I really believe that this is going to be our biggest quarter for the year. And mate, we're only just getting started.
Yeah, we've got so much to do and so much to deliver to people and so much joy we can bring to the world and help others bring to the world as well. So,
Impact and
yeah,
purpose. Let's go.
exactly. Wouldn't have it any
All right,
other way.
guys.
And thank you, brother.
And for those of you who are crazy enough to be up late at night listening to us ramble, it's time to go to bed. Go to sleep.
Yes.
All right, guys.
Yes.
See you later. Thanks for your time. Bye for now.
Bye.